If controversy has a name, it's Trump. And there are more than a few scandals that the first family will simply never live down. Donald Trump's first presidential campaign hit a speed bump when, in October 2016, The Washington Post obtained the now notorious Access Hollywood tape. Recorded while he and host Billy Bush yucked it up during a break in filming, the tape caught Trump bragging about sexually assaulting women.
Just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
Conventional wisdom might have suggested that Trump's campaign would have ended then and there, but as the world has since learned, this is a guy who's anything but conventional.
What was said? This was locker room talk.
Both before and while he was serving as president, at least 18 women came forward to accuse Trump of sexually harassing or assaulting them. Although they each detailed very specific allegations, Trump continued to insist on his innocence.
They made false statements about me, knowing they were false. I never met them. I never met these people.
One of the women to accuse Donald Trump of sexual assault was writer E. Jean Carroll. According to Carroll, Trump had groped and assaulted her in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room in the mid-90s. Trump, who was president at the time of the accusation, responded,
But I have no idea who she is.
In 2019, Carroll sued Trump for libel, alleging that he'd defamed her with that remark. She later expanded her claim to include battery. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Trump continued to insist that he'd never met Carroll, even at deposition.
Never took place. There was no anything. I know nothing about this nut job.
At the end of the trial, a jury found that not only did Trump defame Carroll, but that he was liable for sexually abusing her too. Carroll was awarded $5 million in damages, and when Trump continued shooting his mouth off about her, she sued again. This time, she was awarded over $83 million, an award that consisted of some $7 million in emotional damages, $11 million for damage done to her reputation, and $65 million in punitive damages. By far the most controversial scene in the movie The Apprentice is one in which Donald Trump rapes his then-wife Ivana. That scene sprang straight from the 1993 book Lost Tycoon: The Many Lives of Donald J. Trump, which featured excerpts from a sworn deposition Ivana gave during her divorce from Donald in the early 1990s. In her deposition, she claimed that her then-husband had raped her after becoming furious about a botched scalp reduction surgery. Trump denied Ivana's allegations. During the divorce, his lawyer defended him by asserting that it was impossible for a husband to rape their spouse, and decades later, Ivana recanted her claim. In a 2015 statement, she said, "The story is totally without merit. Donald and I are the best of friends and together have raised 3 children that we love and are very proud of." Back when the deposition was published in 1993, Ivana had made a public attempt to contextualize the incident within her marriage to Donald. She explained in a statement, "Trump and I had marital relations in which he behaved very differently toward me than he had during our marriage. As a woman, I felt violated, as the love and tenderness which he normally exhibited towards me was absent. I referred to this as a rape, but I do not want my words to be interpreted in a literal or criminal sense." Donald Trump's affair with Stormy Daniels might well be the most notorious of his many scandals, especially considering what happened afterwards.
We do begin with the breaking news late today, that stunning moment in American history. The former president, Donald Trump, found guilty on 34 felony counts.
According to Daniels, she had engaged in a brief sexual encounter with Trump shortly after his wife Melania had given birth to their son, Barron. Many years later, it emerged that Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, had paid $130,000 in hush money to secure her silence during the 2016 presidential election. Because Trump had reimbursed Cohen under the guise of paying for legal services, he was hit with criminal charges for falsifying business records. In 2023, Trump entered a plea of not guilty. The subsequent trial was a real doozy. One that ended up revealing yet another of Trump's alleged extramarital affairs. Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker testified that the tabloid had utilized a catch-and-kill strategy to protect Trump. Pecker had paid former Playboy model Karen McDougal $150,000 for the exclusive rights to her story about her months-long affair with Trump, only to sit on the story to prevent it from ever getting out. In the end, the jury found Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts. During sentencing in early January 2025, however, Judge Juan Merchan let the defendant off with an unconditional discharge. Judge Merchan explained that this was pretty much his only option, considering the defendant in question had again been elected President of the United States. Back in 2004, Donald Trump launched Trump University.
At Trump University, we teach success. That's what it's all about.
Despite the name, this wasn't actually so much of a university as it was a series of get-rich-quick real estate seminars. In 2013, Eric Schneiderman, then New York's Attorney General, sued the university for fraud. In a statement, Schneiderman said, Mr. Trump used his celebrity status and personally appeared in commercials making false promises to convince people to spend tens of thousands of dollars they couldn't afford for lessons they never got. Trump U was also targeted by 2 class action suits from disgruntled students who accused Trump of racketeering. And to say these lawsuits didn't go Trump's way would be something of an understatement. A federal judge ordered Trump to pay $25 million in total, $21 million to the victims and $4 million to the New York Attorney General's office. After the case, Schneiderman said in a statement, "This settlement marked a stunning reversal by President Trump, who for years refused to compensate the victims of his sham university. My office won't hesitate to hold those who commit fraud accountable, no matter how rich or powerful they may be." During his first administration, Donald Trump hired his daughter Ivana and her husband Jared Kushner as special White House advisors. Even though the two declined to take salaries for their positions, many found the nepotism impossible to ignore. Even tougher to ignore was the subsequent report claiming that the couple, dubbed Giovanka, raked in a staggering amount of money during their years in public service, with estimates ranging from $172 million to $640 million. Yet that was chump change compared to the payday Kushner received when his private equity firm Affinity Partners got $2 billion from the Saudi Arabian government's public investment fund in 2021. Many were appalled at this development, including California Congressman Robert Garcia, who subsequently called for an investigation into how $2 billion in Saudi money could have ended up in Kushner's pocket. Garcia offered one theory, that the money was quid pro quo for a $110 billion arms deal between the US and the Saudis that Kushner had brokered during his time in the White House.
We protect Saudi Arabia. Why aren't they paying?
Notably, even Republicans had trouble explaining away this particular scandal. Speaking to CNN, Republican Congressman James Comer said, "I've been vocal that I think that what Kushner did crossed the line of ethics." The whole thing began to look even shadier in September 2024, when reports emerged that Affinity Partners had returned a grand total of $0 in profit since 2021. Whether anything comes of all this now that Donald Trump is back in the White House, however, remains to be seen. The Donald J. Trump Foundation was an organization set up by the Trumps to fund other charities, or at least that's what it was supposed to do. In 2018, then New York State Attorney General Barbara Underwood launched a lawsuit against Donald, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka Trump over the foundation. The suit accused the Trumps of using their foundations as little more than a checkbook to serve Mr. Trump's business and political interests, describing their actions as a shocking pattern of illegality. Trump was ultimately found guilty of misappropriation of charitable funds. He was forced to make 19 different admissions of guilt and ordered to pay $2 million to the charities he'd stiffed. The charity was subsequently dissolved. Eric Trump, meanwhile, had been running his own charitable organization, the Eric Trump Foundation. In 2016, Eric came under fire over accusations that the foundation had provided a front for cash-for-access dealings in the early days of the Trump presidency. The uproar that ensued forced him to suspend the charity's operations. Things then went from bad to worse for the Eric Trump Foundation when, in 2017, Forbes found that donations originally intended for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital had partly been funneled to other charities, including the Trump Organization. As it turned out, the Trump Organization had been providing venues for fundraisers at extraordinary cost to Eric's foundation. Speaking to ABC News, a spokesperson for the Eric Trump Foundation insisted no wrong had been done, adding, "To infer malicious intent on a charity that has changed so many lives is not only shameful, but is truly disgusting." Donald Trump Jr.'s love of hunting has been well documented.
We did it! We killed the last lion in Africa! Now everyone will think that we have huge ding-dongs.
A hunting trip in 2019 attracted more criticism than usual, however, when he headed to Mongolia to shoot at a rare, endangered type of sheep. As it turned out, Don Jr. had been accompanied by a Secret Service detail, which had cost more than $76,000 in tax dollars. According to a report from Citizens for Responsible Ethics in Washington, this was $60,000 more than had previously been publicly disclosed. Don Jr. faced a double whammy of controversy when it became apparent that a special permit was required from the Mongolian government to hunt that particular species of sheep. When Don Jr. killed his sheep, he had not been in possession of a permit and only acquired one retroactively a month later. In 2018, tabloids reported that Vanessa Trump, wife of Donald Trump Jr., had filed for divorce. Shortly after this news broke, a follow-up report from Page 6 claimed that Don Jr. had been unfaithful during his marriage. He'd allegedly cheated on his wife with singer Aubrey O'Day when she was a contestant on his dad's TV show at The Celebrity Apprentice back in 2011. O'Day later admitted they had indeed engaged in an affair. After his divorce, Donald Jr. sparked up a relationship with Fox News personality Kimberly Guilfoyle. They soon became the ultimate MAGA power couple and eventually got engaged in 2020. But that relationship came crashing down in late 2024 when rumors emerged of Don Jr.'s romantic involvement with Palm Beach socialite Bettina Anderson. According to the Daily Mail, Guilfoyle was blindsided by her fiancé's infidelity. A source told the outlet, Kimberly either didn't know about Bettina or didn't want to know. Meanwhile, another report in Page 6 indicated that Guilfoyle believed she would still maintain a presence in her ex's life. A source said, Kimberly and Don have known each other for years and have a lot of history together, so she feels like they'll always have a connection. And she was right, in a sense. Soon after Anderson and Don Jr.'s affair became public, Guilfoyle was named as President Donald Trump's ambassador to Greece. Remember Eric Trump's foundation's snafu in 2017? Well, similar accusations were levied against his wife, Lara, in 2021. This time, the scandal revolved around the Big Dog Ranch Rescue Charity, for which Lara served as chairwoman of charity events. According to IRS filings obtained by HuffPost, the dog rescue had spent a grand total of $1,883,160 on fundraising costs for events at Trump-owned properties since 2014, including Mar-a-Lago and one of Trump's Florida golf courses. Meanwhile, a 2021 permit indicated that the charity had planned to spend approximately $225,000 at Mar-a-Lago in a single weekend by hosting a charity event there. Big Dog Ranch Rescue founder and president Laurie Simmons insisted there was nothing shady going on by hosting events at Mar-a-Lago. In a statement, she claimed it was simply a great place to be. Simmons explained, "The quality of service, beauty of the venue, and excellent rate provided us as a non-profit, as well as the generosity of supporters who sell out our event there every year, allows us to rescue and home thousands of dogs."